Hey guys, this is the Betamax man here, and I've got two beta tapes that I've been wanting in my collection for quite some time. Friday the 13th, I finally got a copy of it, and I also got a copy of Ghostbusters 2. That's right. Ghostbusters 2. Now, both titles, well, the Ghostbusters 2 is really hard to find. It's really, really rare. Now, Friday the 13th, well, of course, that's not a rare tape, but they usually go for ridiculous amounts of money. And I got these tapes about a week ago, and I'm just now getting around to doing a video on them. But this has got Friday the 13th, which is hard to get a hold of for a decent price. For the price that I got a hold of this at, it was a great price. Now, there's a little bit of a crease here at the side on this particular side, but the other side, there's no damage. So, you know, for the price that I got this tape at, $40. I got this for $40, and it was one hell of a deal. A good deal in my opinion. Now this has got a Sony cassette. This is a Sony tape, and it's got that design that only Sony used. As you can see here at the back, there's a certain design that only Sony used, and Sony used a lot of the red leader, so this one has a red leader, and with the design it indicates that this is in fact a Sony, and it is not a Scotch. A great quality tape, and it plays perfectly. So I think this belonged to somebody's private home. I think that somebody owned this, bought this new, and I'm probably, who knows, you know, if I'm the third owner, I might even be the fifth owner. I mean, who knows, but to be able to have a copy of Friday the 13th for $40, which usually these tapes can go anywhere from as much as low, it's pretty high price, but they usually only can go as low as like $80 to $100, and then it skyrockets up to $200, $300, $400. I've seen somebody pay as much as $300 for this tape. So for me to have a copy at $40, well, hell, that is a good deal. Now this one is Ghostbusters 2, and you can tell it's beta by the beta sticker there, and the beta sticker on the back. Hey, and guess what kind of tape it is? You see that light gray? See how this one's got a light gray? That's right, this is a Sony cassette as well. And let's take a look at the back of it. Now, as you can see, that there is a Beta Hi-Fi sticker that has been put over the VHS logo. Normally, there would be a VHS logo right where that Beta logo is, and even the barcode has been covered up with the previous barcode. And this is basically to indicate and let people know that this is in fact a beta cassette and not a VHS, because they used to put Betamax tapes inside of VHS size cases, and they would put a adapter in there to adapt the tape so that it would fill in the space. As you can see, this is the adapter that they've got in there. As you can see, it's got the beta sticker. This thing was a previous rental, and I thought that this tape may not even work, but it does work. It actually plays. Now, I haven't played it all the way through, but I played it for the first 5 to 10 minutes, and it seemed to play perfectly. So it's still in good shape, surprisingly, because usually video rentals, the tapes are usually always heavily worn. And sometimes you get lucky and they're not wore out yet. Sometimes you get lucky and it just happens to be a format that not very many people used. And so this is one of those tapes that it just wasn't used that much. You know, it probably wasn't watched all that much. It's probably got, you know, it could have close to, say, maybe 100 plays, or maybe only 50 plays, because still plays good. The linear audio soundtrack is still good. The beta hi-fi that's recorded onto it still sounds nice and crisp and clear, and the image is still really good. So that means that the tape is not, it doesn't have the wear and tear that previous rental tapes usually have. Now, how do we know that it is a rental? Well, you got this little sticker. This is a little sticker. See if we can get the light on it, but it says war or warehouse video, or yeah, something like that. It's like warehouse is what they called themselves, I guess. So it's a video rental store. Now they put these labels on here to make sure that the customer hasn't opened up the tape, hasn't tampered with the tape, because a lot of times if a customer's VCR was eating tapes, what people would do is they would open up the cassette, they would use scotch tape and stick the two pieces of tape together and wind it back in the tape, and then it gets returned. And so movie rental companies used to put these little warning, little safety stickers on there, is because with this particular sticker, if you try to peel it off, you will see a checkered flag type pattern on there, and it's got a really sticky residue, so only the top piece of the sticker comes off when you peel it. And so that was one of the ways that they could tell that, okay, this tape has been tampered with, we're going to charge you for the tape. So, you know, let's just say somebody rented this on their credit card. Well, this movie back in the 80s would have cost anywhere between $80 to $100. So imagine, you know, somebody renting this film, and the film comes back, they know that the customer has been into it, and they charge the card for $100. Imagine how mad that person would be. But you know what would be even worse? How could that person do what they do and then stick it back in and return it when their machine damaged the tape? You know, instead of people just admitting and saying, hey, you know, my machine damaged the tape, it ate the tape, I'm sorry, I'll pay for it. A lot of people would just be dishonest about it, and they would just tape the tape together and stick it back and put it back in the video rental return slot. And, you know, I used to see this all the time when I was a kid. In fact, one of our machines ate one of our VHS machines, because we were a VHS family, one of our VCRs actually ate one of the rental tapes. And, of course, my dad had to buy the tape. But, I just remember my dad being honest with the guy and saying, hey, the VCR ate the tape. And now, sometimes the VCR, he admitted it. And, of course, I don't know if they made him pay for the tape. I think because he was being honest with them, I don't think that they even charged him. But maybe they did, or they might have discounted it at a lower price. But and sometimes the tape would not get damaged, or it would get damaged, but I mean it wouldn't break. So the tape wouldn't break in half. Sometimes if they don't break in half and they just crinkle a little bit, people would used to wind them back up in there. And then, of course, then you couldn't tell. The only way you could tell is by going, playing the tape and seeing those dropouts going through the screen. But yeah, sometimes the tape would not tear, and so they just spool it back into the cassette. So sometimes you never know with rentals. This tape, played great, but who knows? It could have a small section in the middle of the film. It could have a tiny section where the tape got crinkled a little bit, but I don't think so with this one. But anyway, but yeah, so, things like that did happen when I was a kid. But yeah, I think if people were just, would be, and most people back then were honest. I mean, back then there were dishonest people, but there's a lot more dishonest people nowadays than there were back when I was a kid. So it just goes to show you that there's a lot of changes that have been made. There's a lot of dishonest people out there nowadays, unfortunately. But anyway, at least I got these two films for a decent price, and I've got this one that's got the, now I can proudly put this next to my Ghostbusters #1. And, of course, it does suck that, this has got the bigger case. And the original one, #1, has the smaller case. Maybe one of these days I'll find a second release of the Ghostbusters, because if you can get the second release, it more than likely was released in the late 80s, and they would have put it in a big box. But the first release of Ghostbusters, the beta tape, had the same size. Cover was the same size as the beta tape, but in the late 80s, when they would reissue, sometimes they come out with they put it out on video for the second or third time, and it was on beta. It was going to be in a VHS size cover. So, if you know what I'm trying to say. So what I'm trying to say is that, okay, Ghostbusters #1 had the cover was the same size as the beta tape. Ghostbusters 2, well, by the time this movie came out, and because beta was out the door, they started putting beta tapes in VHS size cases. So maybe if I got a hold of a second or a third release of the Ghostbusters on the beta format, then maybe that one will have the VHS size case to match. But it does suck that it doesn't match, because the size is, of course, this is taller, and the only way to know that, if it's on the shelf like this on the side, the only way to know that it's beta is by pulling it out and looking at the stickers. Because you got your sticker there, and then you got your sticker there, and that's how you can tell. Now, sometimes what I like to do is, now, sometimes they would put beta stickers on the sides, but not always. And sometimes what I like to do is make a beta sticker and put it on the side so that I know that, hey, this is a beta. But the thing is that all my beta tapes go with the beta tapes. I never put VHS tapes next to my beta tapes, so I really don't have to worry about that. But for somebody else who, you know, wants it on their shelf, you know, maybe they want to put like a beta sticker on the side so they know. But anyway, yeah. So that's pretty cool. I've got the, you know, the Friday the 13th and the Ghostbusters 2. I'm happy to have Friday the 13th, you know, but I think I'm even more happier that I've got Ghostbusters 2. And I think Ghostbusters 2, I got it for $40 as well. They were from two different sellers, and they both had same price tag on them. And so I was able to buy them. So that's pretty cool. Now, I did see a sealed copy of Ghostbusters 2, but I think the guy wanted like $500 for it. Now, if somebody has the $500, I'm sure somebody will buy it, because a sealed copy of Ghostbusters 2, yeah, you bet your butt if I had $500 to throw around, I would have bought it. But there's no way I have $500 lying around that I can just, you know, fork out, you know. So it would take me, you know, 2 to 3 months to save up that kind of money, you know. And you know, hey, in 3 months, if he still has it, you know, hey, maybe I have enough money to buy it. But I doubt it. I'm pretty sure that you know, he's gonna have it sold way before then. So anyway, but I hope you guys really enjoyed this film, and you know, just this quick little video looking at my collection of beta tapes, because I am starting to buy more beta tapes again. I'll go through phases where I'll buy a bunch of laser discs, and then I'll buy a bunch of beta tapes, and then I'll go back to the laser discs, and then I might go buy some more CEDs, or you know, I tend to go back and forth. But lately I've been trying to get my, you know, my beta collection and growing. You know, I'm trying to get my beta collection to grow. I want to grow the collection, and I want to get all of the Friday the 13th. Now, one of these days I will come across the other Friday the 13th for a decent price. If I can get Friday the 13th for, say, under $50, I'll buy it. If it's, you know, if it's a good price, and as long as the cover is not cut up. A lot of the video stores would cut the cover up. They would actually cut pieces of the cover off to slide into a clamshell. That destroys the value of the tape. So people don't realize this, but when they cut the tape to put it into a clamshell, they destroyed the value. That value of that tape is not worth as much as it would be. Like this tape, I could probably sell this tape all day long for $100. But I'm not going to do that because I want it. You know, this is something I've been after for quite some time. So there we go. There is the look at these tapes. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.